We got up early to leave Alberta and make it to Dawson's Creek in time for JC to take a work phone call. Once we arrived at Dawson's Creek, JC got on his work call and the kids and I went to explore Dawson's Creek. First, we walked to the sign for mile 0 of the Alaskan highway. While we were there, we took pictures for some people. Afterwards, we went and found the visitor center, followed by a sign about the Alaskan highway in town. Once we finished that, we walked back to a grocery store. The grocery store happened to open late that day due to Canada Day. After his work call was over, we set off on the Alaskan highway. When we stopped at a gas station around lunchtime, we ran back to the camper when we got out our lunch supplies, made quick lunches, and ate as we continued on our way.
I am waiting for a bus at the...
We made it into British Columbia to stay for the night. We stayed at a campground at Laird Springs. It is a natural river of hot water, and it was unique because it's a natural river of hot water instead of a spring.
End of the night, under street lamp, red face flamed by the light. I'm going away. I'm going away.
Along our journey, we saw so many bear alongside of the road. We think it was because we were up early and they were just feeding alongside of the road. We were able to slow down and enjoy watching them.
Gone away, and the sun gonna shine on a brand new day. Must be somewhere welcome me into the fold, blooming flowers as much as I can hold. I'm gone away. I'm gone away.
Then we saw a herd of bison. We even had to stop and wait while some of them crossed the road.
I'm gone away. And the sun gonna shine on a brand new day for me. A brand new day for love. Brand new day for me. Brand new day.
Our next stop along the way was the Signpost Forest, located at Watson Lake in the Yukon. It was started in 1942 by a homesick U.S. soldier who put up a sign pointing to his hometown of Danville, Illinois. Now there are thousands of signs there that you can wander among and even put up your own. What we discovered was in this remoter part of Canada, when you got tired for the night, you just pulled along the side of the road at a cool spot and camped there for the evening. We found this cool spot along the side of a lake. And for those of you who are worried about us, don't worry, there are other campers there too. We pulled out of our cool spot at the lake in the Yukon to head to Alaska. This part of the highway is supposed to be the roughest part of the highway. JC described this part of the highway as whack-a-mole of potholes, trying to miss them all. Sometimes it was helpful when we were following behind another camper, because then we could watch where they went and when they bobbed and dipped. So we would try to follow behind somebody in order to kind of watch where to go. There were many times along the path that we were driving on the wrong side of the road because it was a whole lot nicer than our side of the road. Some of the large bumps and potholes are caused by something called permafrost. Permafrost is when the ground, including the soil and the rock, remains frozen for 2 or more years. As it thaws, you get these big bumps in the road and all of the potholes. We finally made it to Alaska. Alaska is Jen and JC's 50th state to visit. Wow, that puts the boys at 49 and Amaris at 46. The Border Patrol entering the United States was much kinder and more helpful than when entering Canada. He even told us a few places that he would visit if this was our first trip. Our first stop in Alaska was at Santa Claus House in North Pole, Alaska.
Yeah. Then the sun gonna shine on a brand new day for me. A brand new
We even had the chance to visit with Santa while we were there.
day for love. Brand new day for me.
For our first night in Alaska, we stayed in Fairbanks. It was about 3,800 miles from home to Fairbanks, Alaska.
New day for love. Brand new day for me. Brand new.
The campground even offered a place that you could give your car a car wash. Once we finish that, we go up to check out the pipeline. It carries the oil from the Arctic Circle down to Valdez. The next stop was Walmart in Fairbanks, Alaska. We had pretty much depleted our food supply on the way to get to Fairbanks, so we decided to restock. Friends who we sometimes go camping with. The kids tried to convince the adults to bring them along for the whole journey. Unfortunately, they didn't have time to pull their camper all the way up to Alaska, but instead they decided to fly into Anchorage and meet us for part of our journey. So they flew into Anchorage and then they met us at Denali National Park. They even brought out the puppies who they were training to work on the dog sleds and let them give us a quick show. After we finished the dog sled demonstration, we rode the bus back down towards the Visitor Center where we found a hike that was around Horseshoe Lake. It offered stunning views inside the Denali National Park. We were even able to see a beaver working on his dam. The next day, we got up and had a late breakfast. We tried to make sure it was a filling breakfast because we were going to hike. We went into the park and rode the bus for about 30 minutes to get to the trailhead for the Salvage Alpine Trail. The Salvage Alpine Trail is a strenuous 4-mile hike. The bus dropped us off at one point, and then it picked us up at another point, so it was a one-way hike. It featured about 1,450 feet of elevation gain, and we ended up hiking, my watch said, 4.7 miles when all was said and done. It is strenuous because it requires climbing steep switchbacks over rocky, uneven terrain, and some sections have a 25% grade. We did the hardest part of the hike first, and actually we thought we had done most of it and stopped for a snack. After we kept walking, we realized that there was a lot more to go, but the trail got easier at that point. So we continued hiking all the way to the top to enjoy the beautiful panoramic views. Once we reached the top, the way down the trail was much easier to navigate and to walk, and we went on our way down. Even though the trail told us we could see bears and we had our bear spray ready, the fiercest animal we encountered on our trip was a squirrel. On our way to dinner, we saw a pair of moose crossing the road. To finish off our day, every hike deserves a little bit of ice cream. So we finished off the night with some ice cream.